Good morning. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. I usually add milk to my coffee. So, what do I want to share with you today? Yesterday, we live on the 8th floor, and yesterday I met one of my neighbors where she had an accident with the elevator. She was inside the elevator, and there were 3 Somalian women, big, as she explained. They were big women, and they had a lot of stuff, and they had a cart with them inside the elevator. And because there were so many, somebody touched the elevator door, and it made it stop. And they got stuck there for about 30 to 45 minutes. And after that scenario, she had a hard time. She has a hard time entering or using the elevator, right? And she basically just stands at the first floor waiting for somebody to get on the elevator with her. So she's afraid to ride the elevator by herself. She doesn't want to ride the elevator by herself because she gets panic attacks, and she's not comfortable riding the elevator by herself. And we talked about it more, and she said that this has been going on for 10 years. For 10 years, you're not being able to ride an elevator for 10 years alone. That's crazy. And she lives on the 6th floor. And she has to, and she just waits basically to somebody to arrive at the first floor so she can ride the elevator together with them. So I've asked her, has this affected some other areas of your life? She said, yeah. My daughter have bought an expensive, nice car, and when she sits in that expensive, nice car, she drives for like a minute or two, and she has to get out of the car because she feels too claustrophobic. And this has affected her. She can't drive a car anymore. She can't take a plane anymore. From time to time, depending on the train, she can take trains depending on how open they are and where on the train she sits. If she sits close to the bathroom, she feels claustrophobic. She needs to sit close to open space, a window. Usually where they put their bags, it's more open. There's not a lot of chairs. So I told her, like, why don't you just use like the thing you know? Because if you live on the 6th floor, like, try just standing in the elevator by yourself for a minute and then get out, and then maybe for 5 minutes and then get out, and then maybe for a couple of minutes more and then get out of the elevator. Don't ride the elevator, just be in it. After that, take the elevator to the first floor. That's it. And then after a while, start taking it to the 2nd floor, and then go down, and then to the 3rd floor, and then so forth. And so, because if you do not face your fears, they will eat you alive, and they will have you on a string for the rest of your life, and it will become worse and worse and worse, and there will become more strings attached to your fear. And then that's what made me sad and disappointed, because eventually it will become a part of your identity, and people around you will start to accept that you're the kind of person that don't ride elevators, and people are trying to prioritize after your needs. And this is where you're limiting your life. You need to take one step at a time in everything that we do. In everything. Like, we like to make it so big, and I want to do this thing. Just take the first step. Take the first step, and many of us we will figure out that we can't do it. We can't do it. That it won't work. I'm talking about things we want in life, not just the elevator part. The things we want in life, if we can't do the first step, like this vague concept we have in our mind that we want to achieve something is not real. This is just fiction. I even wrote this to myself. I dream. لا حبيبي لا تسوي هيك. صمونة هاي. He's taking the bread and like cleaning the floor with it. Like it's a... Okay, back to it. Like I wrote to myself also that I usually drift away dreaming, and I've learned to stop that because it takes so much unnecessary time. I can dream all I want, but if I'm not taking action, nothing's gonna happen. Jordan Peterson talked about this. He said that one of his patients were afraid of needles. So he had a needle under a blanket in the office where he met his client, and he put the needle under the blanket, and he told him, do you want to just look in the needle? He removed the blanket, he looked at the needle, he felt a panic attack coming up, and then he put the blanket on the needle. And the more he did it, the less panic attacks he got. And then he started to touch the needle, and then he started to hold the needle, and then he started to, eventually he was able to get needles in his arm if he wanted to in the future, because he faced his fear. He accustomed his mind to be comfortable with the thing that he's doing, with the thing that he's afraid of, which is the needle. The same thing goes with the elevator. The same thing goes with everything we want to do in life. Like, take short steps. We don't need to do something grandiose and tell people I did this and I failed, like it's some sort of thing. And people will respect you more if you say you're afraid of something and you go ahead and tackle it. Even you will feel more self-respect for yourself when you do those things, because you become that kind of person that handles and can face his or her fears, right? And this is how you do it. Take one step at a time, and whatever happens. It's up to God, but take it. Practice taking one step and go back. Practice taking 2 steps and go back, and so forth and so on. I'm signing out. If you have any questions, hit them down below.